There's no place like Monza for the Ferrari team and its followers.
32-2 abbiamo.
And with Niki Lauda in a position to tie up the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships, team manager Luca Di Montezemolo was justly enthusiastic when Lauda took pole position.
Listen. Oh, fantastic. Listen, I remember this in Zandvoort last year.
Even with the press, the mood was light-hearted.
If he gets publicity, there's the important Ferrari secret to
I tell you, instead of talk about cars, about time, why don't we talk about girls now?
As the cars were pushed out to the grid, the eyes of thousands of Italian fans watched their beloved red Ferraris. Drivers like Reutemann were little else than extras in this show, for Regazzoni had fulfilled his duties and taken second place on the grid. The hopes of the tifosi were therefore at their highest. The tensions in the Ferrari camp were showing a little on the grid, but the team had a new efficiency about it, and even the panics were controlled. Fittipaldi could probably feel his championship slipping away as the Ferrari mechanics started Lauda's car. The start was far from perfect as drivers in the second half of the grid anticipated the flag. The only casualty was Brambilla, whose clutch had died. Another retirement came at the first chicane. Andretti had to pull out after tangling with Tony Bryce, the young driver that had joined Graham Hill's team. The leaders had escaped, however, and at the end of the first lap, it was the two Ferraris, Regazzoni ahead in the lead. For Mauro Foggieri and Luca Di Montezemolo, the two men that had masterminded the team effort that had put Lauda on the threshold of a world title, the pressures of the pits must have been enormous. Out on the track, however, Regazzoni was the man in the spotlight, holding a confident first place ahead of his teammate. Constantly passing between the pit wall, the timekeepers, and the yellow-shirted Goodyear tyre technicians, Foggieri was under as much stress as the drivers out in the cars. Perhaps not as much stress as Lauda, though, for Fittipaldi was making a concerted effort. With 9/10 of the race distance covered, he passed the Austrian and took over second place. Di Montezemolo was counting the laps to the finish, for even if Lauda only finished third, the title would be his. Fittipaldi was showing his championship-winning skills, but he was in no position to beat Niki. The fans knew this, and when Regazzoni took the flag, it was a signal for an outpouring of Ferrari joy, while McLaren had to be happy with second best. Ferrari had not won here at Monza since Regazzoni's victory in 1970. But the real celebration was for the man in third place. Thanks to Niki Lauda, Scuderia Ferrari had its first World Drivers' Champion since John Surtees in 1964. That was the last year it had won the Constructors' title too, and everyone knows that to the team that designs, builds and maintains the cars that compete in Formula One, that's the title that counts. There was one more Grand Prix, the United States event at Watkins Glen, and Lauda won that too, giving him a total of 5 wins in 14 races. Emerson Fittipaldi took second place, and the two drivers thus consolidated their World Championship positions. It had been a strange season, with 2 races shortened by force majeure, and too many in which rain influenced the outcome. For Niki Lauda and Ferrari, 1975 was a great year.